Guys, hello and welcome everyone to our session. Today, we would like to guide you through product thinking for project managers. Session would be not that long, but we prepared real cases from our life, from the product management point of view and project management manager point of view. Let's jump into our introduction. I have very interesting guest today, and Ira, I would like to give you the mic to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Yulia, for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Iryna. I work in tech for about 10 years now. Started in a small service company. That time we called it outsource company. I was project manager, business analyst, sales representative, everything at once. And later on, I kind of got more interested into product management, and I educated myself mainly through Reforge blog and Blaney's newsletter. And step by step, I got my role in product management, and happy ever after.
Thank you. Thank you. And for those who do not know me, I'm Yulia Kramareva, project manager. Have been working in this field for approximately 7 years, for corporations almost. And I have a nice hobby, run educational streams to share our knowledge, to find interesting people who could scale up your career with their piece of advice. And today, definitely you will get some hints for your work, for your career, and on how to scale up, right? Honestly, this product thinking topic, it's chasing me down these days. My manager already pinged me 2 times and kindly asked to scale up in this product thinking, understand the industry best standards, understand how this product should be built. If the team is building product aligned with the standards, right, with the best practices. And it was so a bit confusing while you're focusing as a project manager on the scope, timelines, delivery, building bridges in between people to get value, to deliver benefits, right? And you do not really immerse yourself into product part that deeply, only high-level understanding. Honestly, I had only one time the use case when I used this product thinking widely. For about 1.5 years, I worked for a client, product client, and they didn't have product owners, product managers, anyone with that role, right? But as a project manager, I must know the project, understand the pain of this client. Yeah, so what the actually product should do. And when you immerse yourself into this product, how does it work? What is the best solution? What is the best set of components for this client? You're just going slightly to this product side, and you are not only in charge about delivery, all these timelines, people management, but also product thinking. Honestly, that was a challenge. And Ira, I would love to hear your point. That story, my story, that was challenging. I learned a lot. I worked a lot, especially when you need to learn the product, when you need to go on the tech side and propose a solution together with the team.
Right. Well, this story has so many levels. I'm going to try to answer some of them. So I think when your superior, your product lead or CEO or whoever gives you a task, ask you to implement more product thinking, the kind of like product question would be to ask what should be outcome of that, how should you implement product thinking, and what exactly expected from you. Because product thinking is so wide, people get confused all the time. And of course, product thinking has like lots of depth. So basically, I don't think it's fair to expect from project manager to just learn to be a product manager really fast. And also it's going to be 2 roles in one, and each role is really important and has depth in it. So I think it's important to connect with leaders and ask for them to give you more context so they can onboard you. So then you are within the context and you can make better decision, you can trade off faster, and you can speed up eventually. But I don't think it's on project manager to dig deep and find all the questions on their own, because they have other job to do, right? Being project manager. I'm going to just shut it down so you can respond your thoughts. I think there's 2 roles, product manager and project manager. Both of them really important and both of them really deep. So my understanding in the best scenario is to connect. So product manager share what we're doing, where we're going, what's the strategy, why we need this feature, why we need this notification, etc. And project manager, when he knows the context, they can build faster, better, and everything speeds up. But when they disconnect it, when your product leader just tell you to get product thinking out of nowhere, it doesn't really help, and it's not really you can do on your own.
I definitely agree that it's cohesive collaboration between the roles, but there are sometimes cases when we do not have this product role, right? And probably there are some levels of companies, maybe startups, they have blended duties for the project manager or product manager role, right? And it depends on your situation where it could be applicable. I love that situation when I have collaboration with a product owner. It's the best, because you do your work, you help product owner, product manager deliver perfectly, guide them together with the team. Yeah, it's like your direct duties. But when you need to go to another side, when you need to delve into the product side, it's getting challenging, honestly, especially when you're remaining only together with your team and all these product questions. So as I told you, in my case, in that case, it was real challenge, but it scaled me up. I cannot say it influenced on my career path. It influenced on some decisions that, product management, that's a really nice topic. That's a really nice domain. I would like to switch. No. At that time, I considered my career path as project management manager and went higher, right? So I know that there are some situations when it's absolutely not applicable to apply any product thinking tips to your project situations. And I would love to hear your opinion here on it.
Yeah, I want to also add to what you said that, of course, there is a context. Depends on how big the company size is. It depends on the stage. Is it like early stage or growth stage, or it's enterprise? It's the context of your role going to be so much different, and sometimes it's mixed, sometimes it's really separated, and sometimes project managers so separated, so far away from the strategy person, then they can lose the context, and then they really, not them, not their team, don't really know why we building that, and there is a huge risk in that, because not knowing where this feature going and what it should implement, what it should affect, you don't know how to connect it within the project, so we can oversee lots of issues down the road. So that's why context is important, and maybe project manager can really kind of step in to ask more question about context, not why we building this thing, because asking why we building this is kind of like really vague and really top level, like questioning the whole idea. Or there's another funny question like how we know that it will make user happy. Again, if you're working on some data analysis features that just get some data from one place put to another, that question also not really relevant. So I think just request the context and try to manage through it. And back to where product thinking gets in a way. Yeah, exactly. Like when decision already made, when it's like probably big company, everybody already knows the strategy and why we do this and for what. And if you just in the middle stop and say, I'm not sure we need that, I don't know, notification system, it's not the right way to position. Maybe ask why, like how it connects within the whole system. So it would be a better question. And yeah, like just going through the list, it's really useful list, I think. Would you share the presentation?
Don't you see it? Okay.
No, I see it. I mean, for people, for later on.
Yeah, I plan to share. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the big confusion is that project managers started to be pushed to ask this question, but it's not the question exactly. It's not this question. It's question about context, right? What else I can add here? Yeah, basically, I think this leads really shows work within enterprise companies. But when you're in a startup, of course, things goes really fast, and you should definitely know the product. You should know all these answers.
You even covered my question because I had it all the time in my mind. Where is it the best? Where is it suits best, right? It's not the best for the enterprise environment. Yes, sometimes you need to go deep to the product, but as you highlighted, in this fast environment of the startup, you must know the product. And probably I just was thinking that product manager plays two roles, project and product as well. Do you have this experience? Anything to share here?
Yeah. Well, of course, in small startups that I used to work, of course, I've been sharing both responsibilities. But with time, less of the project manager, more of the product. Because first, if team is small, they can manage, to check their own task estimations and everything. So you don't really need to be with them. If it's like team up to 10 people, they can manage. Secondly, in the startup where things go really fast, way faster than in enterprise companies, you don't really you need to do experimentation tests and check what's working, what's not, kill the feature, build the feature. So less on team cooperation because there are not many features actually to manage at the beginning. So basically in enterprise, there are lots of connections. And of course you need project manager, otherwise we will lose it all. Something gonna drop and everything gonna collapse. And a small team, no, you need just to cut features off fast, create new fast, and then hence you more product thinker than executor.
Yes, it's an interesting point, honestly. I have never worked for startups, and this world is like a black box for me. And all the time when I'm hearing some hints or, story sharing, oh, okay, it could be like this, right? I built my career around kind of enterprise, even that a company that used to call itself a startup, it was quite big and quite structured, right? Startup mindset, Amazon also shares that they have startup mindset, yeah. Well, and another burning question, how this mindset, product thinking, as it could solve project managers' core problems. I totally agree with several of these statements because it's like part of my experience about the requirements when they are unclear or incomplete, and you need to guide the team, ask right questions, right? Ask right questions to dig into, not to spread around these vague questions about like value, high level understanding, right? But know how to guide your team and how to get needed result when you know what to build by when and which effort and etc. Like our typical project management tasks, right? And again, this fast-paced environment, totally agree, but again, role could be blended, especially for much smaller companies. Might you have your opinion? You shared lots of items with me before.
Well, I think let's probably name what product thinking is. In a nutshell, product thinking is ability to understand how to give value to your customers and how to also create value for the business, and balancing it again and again. Simpler example gonna be like maybe I don't know, ChatGPT. They give value, they put price. Then if you want more value, there's a higher price. So basically, more money goes to business, you balance business, but then users upset, so you give them something else. So it's ongoing work. So that's what product thinking. So now, again, depends on which kind of company you work size-wise, right? You might not get all, it could be huge project, you might not know all the connection, what kind of users. There are going to be many user personas, basically lots of people involved, and for each of them different set of feature, different set of strategy. And imagine you work with a small team and you create a little piece of bigger feature. How exactly then you know if it works or not? So I think what's to not build it blindly, because then you and your team is lost, and it's not really fulfilling when you build something blindly. So I think, again, what I mentioned before is to ask for the context. Like this little piece, what I'm building, what it's gonna influence, what it's gonna help to achieve in a bigger perspective. So then, like when you know it, it's easier to understand connection, how it should be connect to later things, maybe easier to even make trade-offs, and of course to ask deeper question when you know the context. So that's probably answered like incomplete requirements part. And yeah, when team moving fast without thinking. Yeah, and as about feature feels off, but no one asked why. So here I think everyone should be careful, because when I was project manager, I was really obsessed with good user experience, and I wanted to improve all UIs that I could find. And there I tried. So basically, if you go back to product thinking, here my balance of value for customer, value for business was shifted to only customers, and business was upset. They were like, no, Ira, please stop focusing on that. We need to make them to use our product, not just be happy with UI. So ugly product can also work. No, shout out to that. Yeah, so when feature feels off, I think it's important to maybe ask again context. Same question I've been given here, but context, and not in like why we build this feature, but like where it connects to, because and say why it feels off, right? Because maybe something we created before is different, like you know the context of before, so you can share that.
Quite interesting point of view. So for those project managers who would like to start scaling up in this product thinking, the first piece of advice is to delve into the context, right? To understand this part of the product. What about this piece of advice I was given about delving into industry standards and comparing what we would like to build against these industry standards? What do you think about this point?
So, well, I think that nowadays, apparently, project manager should have some basic understanding, not like to create user research themselves, not to do user discovery, not create market research themselves, but basic understanding. So basically, industry standard, I think how it can work for you is you might ask what's other project we like competing with, other products, right? And you can check them yourself. Of course, it's your extra time, right? Now we're talking project manager, put extra time in learning that, but apparently everything shifted slowly. I mean, fast in small teams, really slower in bigger teams, but it's that direction. So basically, to not just Google, okay, what is my industry and what standards are there, probably it's worth to ask, all right, what projects are there, what we can, and then you do some little research, and then you say, so I discovered this, like features like this, some analytics goes this way. Do we want that? Are we aiming to get something like that? So here's your industry standards.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Honestly, likely I will apply it quite soon. Yeah, to delve into it. Thank you. And I have several questions that were dropped previously. If you don't mind, I will open. I will open my notes. And one of the questions was about this product thinking, how it could help to build career or to scale up this product mindset, getting promotion. Because in my opinion, it's like a tiny part of your work, right? If we are taking the project manager scope, right? And there are so many dimensions that could give you promotion. But I would love to hear your opinion. I know that you are a switcher from project management to product management, and that's quite interesting to hear.
All right. First of all, my switch didn't happen within same company. Company I used to work for, they wanted project manager, and I wanted to be closer to business. I always had that eager to, create business, understand business. So that's why I started to educate myself and move to product management. If somebody wants to, how can product thinking help you in your career? So I think in a company, when you were asked to perform that, you need to really be sure you understand what was meant by that, because could be that leader who asked you that also not quite sure, and then you together probably should define what's required, so then everybody aligned. Well, it's a typical project manager job, right? You must be aligned, right? And for somebody who wants to switch to product management, well, it's probably a whole another story. I'm not sure if I answer or there's a follow-up, because
I believe we should do the follow-up and unlock this possibility to switch between the roles. It's a huge topic, and probably it's not that influential for the project manager career, but it's influential when you would like to have a pivot in your career or scale up to another position. So definitely we need to consider another topic. And all the time, I had this question in my head. I even considered like different product manager certifications. Would it give me a value? Will I be a better specialist like a project manager? And I ended up that I should focus on project manager's scope exactly, without delving into product. However, I have several colleagues who started gaining professional product owner certifications. But it would be nice to understand on the high level. I know it's again one big topic for another session. Does it make sense for the project manager who doesn't want to switch into the product? Scale up. I don't know. Wrap around your head all these metrics or approaches. Honestly, because I dropped this idea, it was living with me for about 2-3 years. I even ran through mock tests, read guides, right? And then I understood it doesn't really help me now.
Well, again, several layers there. First of all, product owner is not product manager. Yes. And secondly, product owner is somebody from Scrum who is similar to project manager. Here, I'm not really proficient to explain difference between project and product owner. I've been reading about product owners not need to be exist anymore, and opposite of that. So like it's all that. But secondly, I think again, product manager is a doer, like somebody who do things fast, and while also like working for business, exactly like strategy, what works, what we should do, what kind of users, and project manager is more about structure. So I think certification in project management has way more sense because it's helped you to structure even better. In product management, of course, there's lots of deep knowledge per topic, user research, data analysis, testing, experimentations, lots of things, but it's more about, take it and do it than get a certificate on that. But of course, there's huge educational courses, like, for example, Reforge is an amazing educational course, and it's quite pricey, but it gives you all what you need. But I'm not sure, like some startups, they value, and I saw that in description, that Reforge, like person who did Reforge course, they value, but not that often. So I'm not sure that for product manager you really need certification, but for project manager to understand some basics, understand basic metrics, maybe like what's activation, what's retention. Like little part of that would help, because when you talk to product leader, you will have more context about what's happening and why we build this feature and where we are on the funnel and what metrics it can shift. So that would help.
Yeah, so looks like every project manager should start from the point where they would like to be and how deep they would like to delve into the topic. From today's session, I already see 3 big topics to uncover. Yeah, so guys, please follow us. Definitely we will plan more to immerse you deeper into this topic, uncover this certification part, product thinking. You mentioned useful metrics. That's quite interesting, because I do not measure product metrics at all. And probably it would be, first of all, for me, a big learning, and I might apply or find some cases where I can apply. Experimenting, nobody declined experimenting. Thank you for today's session. I don't see any questions in the chat. Let me double check, please. I don't see any questions in the chat. We would be happy to answer after this session. You could drop the questions under the stream or in DM, and we will guide you through answers. Thank you, guys.
Right. Been a pleasure. Thank you, Yulia.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.